Friday, my dudes! So let's make a quick and easy 3.14 layered pie. So to start off this 3.14 layer pie, we need our base. So we're just going to take a package of graham crackers, and you can either throw this in the food processor or Vitamixer or whatever you want, or you can do it the old-fashioned way. Well, that takes care of that. Next, we're going to pour it into a bowl. And in the microwave, we have melted a 1/4 cup of butter to put into it. The recipe I have says you can add a 1/3 cup of sugar to the graham cracker crust, but I'm going to avoid that because the rest of the layers are gonna have plenty of sugar. And this is only the transportational unit to get the rest of the ingredients into our mouth. Your graham cracker crust should look like wet sand on a beach. Next, we're gonna put it in our pie plate. Just go ahead and dump it all in. Now this is the only part of the recipe where you're actually gonna do any baking. We have the oven set for 350, and then what we're gonna do is once we have this all packed down and up the sides, we're going to bake it for about 8 minutes or until it's golden brown. And yes, I know the graham cracker is already golden brown, but it's a different kind of golden brown. And if need be, use your hands to pack it down tight. It's okay. It's gonna get baked anyways. You could also skip all this hassle and just buy a pre-made pie crust. Now while we're waiting for the oven to preheat, let's work on our 3 layers. Well, the pie crust is the 0.1415926. This would be number 1. So we need room temperature 8-ounce block of cream cheese. Then we follow that up by adding a cup of powdered sugar. You can sift it if you want. It's not really necessary. But we're not going to put the powdered sugar away quite yet because we're going to actually end up using it for our 3rd layer as well. Now, you take your cream cheese and you want to blend the powdered sugar with the cream cheese till it's silky smooth. No lumps, no bumps. Just make it really nice and pretty. If you wanted to be extra fancy, you could add vanilla here, but I'm not going to because I'm going to be using vanilla Jello and Oreos in my pie. So we're not going to get that fancy. Just make sure you scrape everything down in the bowl. Make sure there's no lumps of powdered sugar because no one wants to bite into a bite of powdered sugar. And the best thing about using a glass bowl, you can always just check the bottom to see if you got it all. And now that this is mixed, I'm actually gonna put it back in the fridge for a little bit because my cream cheese was room temperature. I'm gonna put it back in there and let it thicken up a little bit because it'll make it easier to spread in your pie crust. Now that the pie crust has come out of the oven, you can see that it's a different shade of golden brown. So layer number 2. use Oreos and Jell-O pudding mix. I mean, I tried to find a cookies and cream Jell-O, but when I went, there wasn't any. So we're gonna make do with what we got. How many Oreos are we gonna do? I don't know. Whatever looks good. You wanna use the whole package? Go for it. I'm not gonna judge you. Yes, I am reusing my graham cracker bag from earlier because why not? Provided it doesn't have any holes in it, you should be fine. So I'm gonna use about a sleeve and a half of Oreos. If I decide I want more afterwards, then so be it. Again, you could use the food processor for this, but why would you want to? Not to mention, you can decide how big or small you want your Oreo chunks to be. And if you want thicker chunks, that is okay because the pudding is gonna actually soften the Oreo cookies when you add it. Yeah, these are some nice sized pieces. And that's gonna make for an awesome pudding filling. Now let's start the pudding. But wait, we can't start the pudding. Let's read the directions. So the pudding says, when you read the directions, it says it'll be soft serve in 5 minutes. That's not much time to work with. So to be smart about this, let's take a moment to add layer 1 into our pie crust. And then we can add this to the top. I miscalculated, and you should probably make your pie crust earlier and let it have time to cool. I cooled mine down today by putting it in the unmicrowave. Let's get layer number 1 into layer 0.1415926. That's as much as a digital pie thing as I'm gonna do for you guys. Now you can get fancy. You can use a spatula. I'm gonna use just the back of the spoon. And my pie crust is not holding up well. Well, my pie crust is not doing well. So, what I'm going to do is stick it in the fridge again. And this happens in the kitchen sometimes, but that's okay. Because it'll still taste good in the end. So I'm gonna throw this back in the fridge for a little bit and we'll see if we can save it. Okay, so it's been a little while. Let's see if we can't fix this thing. I don't think I'm gonna win. So let's make the best of the situation. So I'm gonna throw some saran wrap on the pie and I'm going to kind of make it sink in. I'm just gonna gently pat it out. And honestly, who knows? It might actually end up turning out well. It'll work. So, now with that being said, let's try and make some Oreo Jell-O pudding mixture. Now, you can use whatever milk you want to make your pudding. If you are lactose intolerant, there actually is a website to go to for Jell-O if you need to use an alternative to a dairy product. I'm gonna take this, make sure there's no lumps, and pour our 2 cups of milk in. And whisk for 2 minutes. Beat it, nose, beat it. So the Jell-O pudding is starting to thicken. That means let's add our Oreos. And pour all our Oreos in there. We're gonna use a spatula, mix all the Oreos in. Now, let's add it into our pie. Something I've learned over time is if you're doing something like this and you know it's not gonna fit all of it in this, have a couple of extra bowls ready. Are they Christmas themed? Yes. But they're like the perfect size to add stuff like this to. Now that this is starting to be really thick, let's go ahead and scoop it up and put it in our pie plate. Now this Oreo cookie vanilla pudding is layer number 2. I'm gonna put this in the fridge and we can start with layer number 3. But in the meantime, I'm gonna use a Tweerex and a Holiday Magic and put the rest of the pudding in there, because that'll make an excellent snack. And just to make those a little more pretty, I'm going to plop an Oreo right in the middle. Now, let's start on our final layer. So, you're probably asking yourself, how can you make a pie even better? And how could you add another layer? Well, I got my powdered sugar, about that much, or less. Or you can use granulated sugar, it's up to you. Adding sugar to this will just make sure that the peaks stay fluffy, I guess you should say. And then I'm just going to pour in, you got it, some heavy whipping cream. We're going to make some homemade whipped cream to go on this pie, because every pie either needs whipped cream or ice cream. And this falls into the category of whipped cream. So you can either do this in a bowl with a whisk attachment with a hand mixer or in a stand mixer. However, I'm choosing to protein shake it. So once I get this done and whipped up, we can add it to the top of our pie. Our last layer. So then we can finally eat it. With the whipped cream being whipped, I'm going to take a little bit, put it on here, just because these need whipped cream too. Now, let's get it on our big pie. I mean, if you wanted, you could put this in a piping bag and make little mounds. But remember, this is a quick, simple, easy, I'm not gonna say no fail because I've already failed with the crust. Hence why it's 0.14 pie. So let's get this topped. Don't forget to take this out. Pour all this onto the top. Just kind of smooth that out. Look at that. You never would have known I made some mistakes. I'm gonna take the rest of the whipped cream and throw it on our little ones. Ta-da! Now that we've made our pie, let's go ahead and try it out. This is the same pie, I promise. I'm not making 2 of these. Go ahead and cut it as best as I can. Yeah. Alright. Okay, let's see if a pie server can save us. I doubt it very much though. Yeah. I once heard a thing that they said that the first slice of pie will always be the ugliest slice. So you should have that slice. And then you give whoever else is at your house or wherever you're at the second slice, because that should be the prettier slice. I don't think any of that's gonna work in this situation, honestly. But that's okay. Mistakes happen. It's all part of learning. Not every cook is perfect at what they do when it comes to doing stuff in the kitchen. I am not one of those people who claims to be an expert on everything. And honestly, having fails in my kitchen shows you I'm a real person and not AI. Anyways, let's get this back in the fridge. Let's get a cup of coffee and try this out. I made a pie.
I see that. How'd it turn out?
Mistakes are made.
I bet it'll still taste good.
Well, yeah. I didn't say it tastes bad. So it's a pie. It's 3 layers. And like a 1415926 of a pie crust because it fell apart on me.
Oh, okay.
Still tastes spectacular though.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Uh-huh. The fact that I think I put Oreo cookies crushed up into the vanilla pudding makes it taste better instead of buying the actual cookies and cream pudding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you can taste it. You can tell there's Oreos in there.
I'm glad I did not put the extra sugar into the pie crust.
No, it doesn't need it. No. But I like the crunchiness of the pie crust.
At first I was going to be concerned that the graham cracker wasn't going to go with any of these flavors, but I think it brings the sweetness down a little bit, so it's not overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty good. I could probably eat a lot of it.
Good thing I only made one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for stopping by the kitchen today, and as always,